Good morning, guys. My name is Jason. I'm the founder of Distress Loan Advisors. If you want to book time with me, there is a link below, or you can go to jasontees.com. Today, I am going to answer a question that gets asked a lot. Can I settle my SBA loan? And the answer, as is the case with many things in life, is it depends. It depends on primarily what type of loan you have, because that's going to dictate whether it's possible at all. But then beyond that, even if you have a loan type that currently does allow for offer and compromise, whether or not you're going to be able to settle depends on all of the circumstances, which is, it would take me 2 days. And you guys don't want to watch a 2-day video. So I'm going to cover this in sort of broad strokes. So first, let's talk about loan type. The big question for EIDL loans is, can they be settled? The answer right now is, as far as I know, no, they cannot be settled. They are not considering offer and compromise for any EIDL loan. So regardless of your personal circumstances, they do not care. They will not consider a settlement. I do have people who say, well, what if my business is closed? Will they consider a settlement then? No. What if I prove to them that, someone committed fraud and stole money from me? The answer is no. Basically, there are no circumstances in which they're going to be willing to forgive any of this debt. Personal bankruptcy is always an option, whether or not you qualify for that, that's a conversation you can have with a bankruptcy attorney. But, outside of personal bankruptcy, they are not writing down these loans. They're not reducing the balances. So that's EIDL loans. Now, for other types of SBA loans, primarily 7A loans is a lot of what I do. Those can be settled, but it's not an absolute. So in other words, the SBA doesn't say, well, we'll take 20% of the loan balance and we'll settle. They ask for full financial disclosure, so personal financial statements and tax returns and bank statements and all that stuff. And essentially, you have to prove to them that you cannot afford to pay this loan in full. And if you can prove to them that the offer that you're making is their best option too, because they don't have any other collection options, then they may be willing to consider a settlement. So that's 7A loans. That's a large part of my business, helping people negotiate settlements on those. For EIDL loans, not so much, because there are no settlements. And so that's why primarily for EIDL loans, the only service I can offer right now is a 30-minute consult, and I can tell you your options based on your circumstances, whether or not there's a personal guarantee, how many deferments you've had previously, if there's the personal guarantee is the big one. What else? 504 loans. Those used to be able to be settled for reasonable sums. I would say it's been a long time, probably 10 years ago. 504 loans, the people who service those, it's not the same offices that service 7A loans or EIDL loans. And they changed how they do things. And they essentially started telling people, well, unless you can settle for 50%, we're not willing to settle. And so most 504 loans end up not settling as a result of that. But with that said, technically it is possible. And then for other types of disaster loans that are not the COVID EIDL, historically, again, technically those can be settled, but again, they're very difficult to settle because the people who service the disaster loans, like from fires and floods and hurricanes, they make it very difficult to settle as well. So even though technically it's possible, most of them don't. So that's it. Just to recap, EIDL loans right now, as of today, that I'm aware of, no settlements. 7A, yes. And if you have a good argument, those can settle at reasonable sums. The cheapest I've ever seen is 4 cents on the dollar. Please don't contact me and say, Jason, I wanted 4 cents on the dollar too. The people who get the best settlements have pretty extraordinary circumstances. And then for other types of disaster loans and 504 loans, technically, yes, they can settle, but the amounts that they require typically are more than most people can afford. So that's it. That is a summary with regards to SBA loans and offer and compromise. Thanks for checking in. Like and subscribe if you found this to be helpful, and we'll see you on the next one.